What's going on, everybody? In today's episode, we're going to go over an update on what happened in the past week here in New Jersey with the drone situation and what's going on across the country. I'm also going to go over my opinion, some housekeeping items real quick. For all of those that are out there watching, I appreciate the support. I appreciate the comments and the thumbs up. Like I said earlier, in previous videos, I am completely an amateur when it comes to creating content. This is not my profession. I'm doing the best I can. I typically do not edit, so I honestly appreciate people understanding that and supporting the channel. And it's been a great ride so far. So let's get into it. So if you watched the news recently, this week, I want to bring this up, guys, because if you're not aware or if you're new, I live in New Jersey in the tri-state area, right? Trump spends a lot of time here, as well as Florida. He has a place in Bedminster, which is not too far from me. I'm about 20 minutes from Manhattan. So this past week, Trump decided to cancel his trip to Jersey because of the drone situation, right? He's the one that says our government knows exactly what's going on and that the president, which is Biden, knows exactly what's going on. Now, you're not dumb. I'm not dumb. 99% of us are not dumb. We clearly know it's our drones. These little things flying around, okay? We're flying them, right? The FBI said they think it's, not think, but they know it's not a threat, but they don't know where they're coming from. Clearly they know they're not a threat, and they know where they're coming from. It's bullshit, guys, bullshit. But anyhow, so recently, this week, there has been drone activity, especially where I live, very close to Manhattan. In my opinion, guys, what I've noticed, and I kind of want to go over this so you guys can have a better understanding of my opinion on what's going on, and I'll kind of go into a deeper experiment here because I've started putting a few things together. But the drones that we're seeing right now here, and actually now across the country, are still the same drones, in my opinion. They still have the blinking light, right, the GPS signal. It's being controlled clearly from a far distance because these drones can fly for long periods of time, right? The average drone that you and I could buy can't do that, right? You're typically maxed at, 50 minutes, maybe even less, depends on the one you buy. So Trump decided not to come this weekend, right? Because he knows exactly what's going on. Guys, we're not dumb. Somebody's whispering in this guy's ear, okay, and telling him exactly what's going on, where they're coming from, what do they think is going to happen. So for him to make that comment, it made me think like, shit, should I get my family out of the state like this weekend? Right now it's Sunday. It's, what time is it? It's 10 to 11. Oh, yeah, 10 to 11. And it's been pretty quiet all weekend. We had some snow yesterday. It's cold, things like that. I honestly feel that from the statements that were mentioned this week, what's going on across the country, the news, the sightings, the videos, what I honestly think is, from doing some research, these drones are definitely ours, right? Either they're looking for something, looking for someone. It's a false flag to see how we react. It could also be, it could be possibly that, yes, they might be looking for a dirty bomb, which I saw that theory this week, coming from the Port of Elizabeth, which is in New Jersey. It could be that, but in my opinion, I don't think it's any of that stuff. What I honestly think is, when you look back the last 20, 35 years, I would say, as far as wars, we've basically had wars the entire time, right? And just in history in general, right? I feel like there's no one else to fight, right? We're not going to go to war with China, hand-to-hand combat and stuff like that, flying planes and bombs, because the planet would just blow up, right? Same thing with Russia. My theory here, I might be crazy, guys, Okay. I know I'm crazy. Okay. My theory is, well, I have a couple, but the first theory, in my opinion, is the drones are here to test us, to see how we react as a public. They're a distraction to possibly stage some type of UFO event, some type of, I would say, more of a threat from space coming into the planet, which would allow the United States, okay, to possibly do lockdowns again, restrict airspace, restrict drone flying, right? Um, Putting all that to the side, you're going to be like, okay, Jerry, what's wrong with you, man? Like, what are you drinking, smoking? What's going on, man? By the way, I don't do any of that stuff, guys. Here's why I think that's possible. If you understand how money works, the velocity of money is constantly moving. What really runs the planet, right, is the most powerful families out there. The military industrial complex needs constant flow of money from Congress. It needs wars, okay? Constant wars all the time to justify buying a plane, one plane, for $4 billion. Forget about the guns and the ammos and the missiles, all that stuff. Yeah, they have to justify it. You can't just buy it, let it sit there for 5 years, rot in the shitty weather that we have. And if something happens, it doesn't make sense, guys. In my opinion, looking at everything together, it seems like that something's being set up on our end to make it seem like it's something else. For instance, like an invasion of something, maybe even possibly an invasion from China or Russia, to justify us using certain technology to, number one, lock us down, brainwash us, restrict movement. And the end goal, to me, it seems like, I could be wrong, but like I said, it's my theory. The end goal seems to me is it's just constant control for the most powerful families to stay in power. And the reason why I say that is there's one person that's a huge threat to these people that are powerful and that have money and that own all the corporations, a majority of them. Trump. Yeah, that's right. I said it. Trump. Trump's a threat. He really is. Why? Because the guy has his own money. He's here to clean house, get back at the people that try to kill him, impeach him, lock him up, fake charges, all that BS, right? He's a threat. My thought was, at first, when I was watching the news this week, I don't know, I'm sure you guys were watching it too a little bit, and you were trying to put things together, but my thought was, okay, wait. If they really wanted to take him out with the drones, they would have figured out a way to do that. But what other way to make him leave, give up, or possibly be set up? It could involve something like that, a situation where they try to attack him physically, with a plane, a drone, going after his personal plane. Because right now he's not using Air Force One, right? He's not the president yet. It could be, right? Or he could also be one of the fall guys. Remember, Trump was the one, from my understanding, that started the National Space Defense branch. For what? For what? To shoot meteors and rocks and comets and all that bullshit and have satellites out there? We had all that stuff already. So to me, it seems like something's going to be set up in a way to make it almost like COVID, right? Because COVID's a great example. It was a success. Excuse me. How do you shut down a whole entire country? How do you do it? They did it already. It's been done. And it was all driven by what? Fear. Fear from the media. The media scared us. It worked. Right? It worked. I'm not saying some parts of COVID are real or fake, because in my opinion, I personally think some of it's not accurate. Some of those deaths are actually natural causes, but they classified them as COVID to justify the numbers and things like that. I personally think because it was a success, moving forward, it would be a lot easier to lock us down, control us, brainwash us, especially with media, cell phones, and all that. And for the folks that are in charge to have what? Control. They're in control. They control everything. That's my opinion, guys. I know I'm crazy. I'm thinking like outside the box. I just tell it how it is. I don't know. I'm putting a couple things together in my head from what I've noticed recently. Like I said, I'm not here to. Some people might say it's a conspiracy theory. Listen, it is what it is, but I know I'm not dumb. I know you're not dumb. I know all of Americans are not dumb, right? There's a few that are, but we're not dumb people, right? We're pretty smart. We were fooled before. I don't think we're going to be fooled this time around. I really don't think so, right? I don't like to get into too many crazy ideas, but like, let's just use an example, the Afghan war and stuff in Iraq. Was it justified? They kept telling us there was these massive, bombs, nuclear bombs and stuff like that to justify us invading. Guys, there was none of that, right? They didn't find any of it. So I really think this time it's going to be harder to fool us, and I think these drones are a way to see how much, basically how much control with social media and the news and things like that, it can work against us, right? Like, could it really scare us if they were to stage some type of crazy invasion or something like that? Because I don't think the nuke situation would be accurate because, yes, we do have threats, but I honestly think we don't want that. We don't want to destroy infrastructure that we already have, right? I don't think that would be the case. I could be wrong. Like I said, you never know. Maybe that is the truth. Because I'll tell you one thing. This was on Tuesday of this week. I was driving towards EWR because it's not far from me, right? I see these two helicopters staggered like this. But I'm thinking, okay, why are they flying in the rain? There's really nothing out there. They're under the clouds, but it's really bad, right? But the formation they had looked to me more like military, but they weren't military. They were regular civilians, but they had some round pieces in the front. Looks like almost like it has like see, here's a drone. It kind of looked like something like this, right, in the front. So I'm thinking in my head, okay, maybe they are like searching for a bomb, or maybe they're sniffing for something, or maybe they're just chasing something, right? Because they're going fast. And I'm thinking in my head, like, I don't know. Is it possible? Maybe. It could be, right? But these helicopters are coming out, and I'm like, okay. I go to where I had to go to, and on the way home, I noticed the same set, but a little bit different, going the opposite way. So I'm thinking, okay, are they doing like a run? Is it more like a grid pattern, strategic, clear this area, clear the next area, come back, like a big, square circle? And I'm sitting there thinking, like, shit, man, is this freaking shit real? Like, is there really a fucking possible nuke medical piece that got lost or stolen from Elizabethport? Could it be possible? Maybe. It could be. But I don't think it can get, I don't think it would go that far. I could be wrong. Like I said, I don't know. I would just hope it wouldn't, because that's kind of scary. Because like I said, this week, for anyone that lived in New Jersey, I'm sure we were all thinking of leaving this weekend. We heard what Trump said. The other piece I was looking at was, I said, okay, if Trump doesn't come here this weekend, which he didn't, and Governor Murphy, which is the current governor of New Jersey, decides to leave the state, and all the town mayors decide to leave the state this weekend, I would have left. I would have took my family out of here. I would have went west to Pennsylvania and keep going. Because then something's completely wrong. Okay? Completely wrong. Think about that. like I said, guys, I'm not here rant about too many crazy conspiracies, but like just looking at it from a logical standpoint, clearly the drones are U.S. assets, okay? Because you're not going to let some foreign government fly in here. That shit ain't going to happen, guys. Come on. We're too strong, too powerful, too sophisticated. It is never going to work, right? So it's ours. They're looking for something. They're chasing someone possibly, or people, or or is to scare us or to get us to think there's something wrong or distract us from something bigger and better. It's got to be one of those, guys. You know, it's got to be. You know, do I think UFOs are real? Yes, to a certain point, but I don't think they're bad. If they were bad, we wouldn't be here. They would have got rid of us a long time ago. So I don't think it's that. I think it comes down to the biggest families in the world that have been in power for so long. They're at the mercy of losing everything, or a majority of everything, or losing control technically, because the money is irrelevant. It's the control. They're basically cornered, and it seems like they are going to go to the extremes to keep that power. That's my opinion. That's what I think it is. You know, who knows? Maybe more stuff develops later on, but I think it's got to be that, guys. Anyhow, on another note, Christmas is 3 days from now, 3 or 4 days from now. The new year is around the corner. I know I've made a lot of content in the past about jobs, building resumes, real estate, recruiting, things like that, owning a business. Guys, this is the time, in my opinion, to start making big moves. I said this before. If you're thinking of making a change, definitely consider doing it for the new year. Set a goal, do it, because it's either going to be really good 4 years or it's going to be hell for the next 4 years. I hope it's going to be positive. It seems like it's going to be positive, but a lot of moving pieces have changed. Like I said, especially with this drone stuff, the sightings. Have you seen these UFO sightings recently, guys? Like, it's all over the place. Some of it looks fake, some of it looks real, some of it you can't even really tell. The Pentagon keeps talking about this, Congress, they do hearings. I don't know, man. It looks like, it's almost like it's on purpose. It feels like it's on purpose. But anyhow, putting that to the side for a second, remember, it's a new year. I'm going to do my best to kind of still go over my strategies and what I think is helpful for 2025, because a lot has changed. I do have someone that's going to join us soon who comes from the same background as well. He's going to share some of his ideas and tips on how to land those solid dream corporate jobs if you're interested in corporate for the new year, because some of those corporate jobs obviously pay a lot of money, and a lot of them are willing to take the right person with a little bit of experience. So it all comes down to connections, tactics, and things like that, and how to build resumes, and what to say and what not to say on an interview. So I'll have that out to you guys shortly. We're just coordinating the logistics possibly for this week, but yeah, I look forward to that. And like I said, guys, I'm not here to talk about like conspiracies so much, but I just like, it's so obvious. Like, it's like sitting in my brain. I'm seeing something's wrong, and I just like, I don't know. I just gotta like, I guess, let it out and see if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe you guys can tell me if I'm crazy or not, but a lot has gone down for the last 12 months, you know? a lot. These freaking things are flying everywhere. Everywhere. Something is going on. Something's going on. But anyhow, until then, guys, stay safe. Enjoy the holidays. For all those out there, Merry Christmas. I'll see you on the next one. God bless. Peace.